Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So let's get started with today's look. We are taking the Morphe C1.65 concealer and we are just buffing that out onto our eyelids to give us a blank canvas to work with. And this just helps our eyeshadow blend and get the full pigmentation of the colors that we are going to be using. And today we are just doing a very bronzy eye natural glam. It was raining really hard this day, so I wanted like a full beat, but I also didn't want to go overboard and do anything too crazy. So we're going to take our Jaclyn Hill palette and we're going to start off by using the colors Butter and Pooter. And we are just going to place that on our eyelids. And a little messy, we're just gonna place the color there and then drag it out how we want. This is basically just kind of be our base, kind of our first color that we laid down. So we're gonna finish buffing out the lighter tone browns and blending them up into our crease. And then we are going to grab a little bit of mocha and chip, and we're going to place that more on our lid and drag it up into our crease, blending the lighter colors with the darker browns. And like I've given you guys a tip in the past, instead of buffing out the colors or placing them in a buffing motion, for the darker colors we are going to pat the colors because we want that pigmentation and darkness. So instead of buffing it at first, we are going to pat it and then buff. Okay, and right here we are grabbing Cranapple from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and we want to focus this just mainly on the eyelid, so as close to the eyelash as possible. And we really just want to focus that pigment right there, and we'll drag it up in a minute, blending it with our blending brush. And this is just going to give us the darker look. Go ahead and clean up your under eyes or your edges if any product fell, or we can keep that until the foundation, but kind of drives me crazy to see it there, so I clean it up right away. And we're just gonna blend our corners and kind of give it a little smoky appearance. From here I wanted to see where I'm going with the look, so I put my foundation, and so once the foundation is laid on and the face is laid on, I can add or change any pigments or colors if I want to give it a darker appearance or kind of buff it out more. I'll know once my full face is on, because of course it's gonna be a dramatic difference once I layer on my full face and my full coverage products. And right now I am using the foundation, the Maybelline Fit Me, and I am using 110 Porcelain, and this is the matte plus poreless foundation. This is like my go-to drugstore foundation just for days that I do want a full glam and full coverage foundation, but I also maybe don't want to waste my higher end prestige foundations. I was going to a birthday party for one of my nephews, and then in the night maybe going to the movies or something, so you know, good enough, but I didn't want to waste my really good stuff. And like I said, it was raining, so not too worth it. Next we are grabbing our Revolution Makeup Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour, and I am using the shade C13.5. And here I am just putting it in all my areas. I want a little definition. A trick I use with this contour concealer is I like to, on days I don't wear eyeshadow, but I still want like definition or some color. I put this on my eyelids and buff it out with like a blending brush, and it kind of gives like a contour look to your eyelids, but also gives that color, so it almost looks like you put on eyeshadow but you didn't. So that's a really good trick. And then just set it with translucent powder. So I am taking my sponge and just buffing out all the contour areas I placed, and I'm gonna add a little bit more contour and a little bit on my cheeks because some went away with the blending just because I had some foundation left on the sponge. So we're just buffing it all away. I contour my neck, but I cut some of it out, so if you guys want a video on that, I could definitely post a different video. So right now we're just buffing out our contour and making our faces snatched. Side note, but I am so sorry for all the ugly ass faces I make while I do my makeup. It's so crazy rewatching these videos back because I'm like, oh my god, why am I making the wildest faces? But whatever, it is what it is. It's all for fun and it's all worth it in the end, right? So right now we are just adding concealer to the places where we might have some sharp lines from our contour, just because that contour shade is a lot darker than me, so I would like to buff out any sharp lines or anything we may have, and this just gives me the appearance of, you know, the definition that I want in those areas by putting the concealer underneath where I put those lines. So first we put our concealer, the Morphe, the C1.65, and then on top of that, the lighter ones that I put under my eyes and in certain areas is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Concealer, and I am in CO.2. We're just going to buff that out with our other side of our Morphe sponge. And once that's done, we're just going to set our face with the Airspun Extra Translucent and set everything in place, and so it doesn't smudge or move throughout the day. So I am pretty heavy-handed when it comes to my translucent powder, but that's why I really love a full coverage foundation, whether it's drugstore or high-end, just because my Airspun translucent powder is very fine and thin, so when I pack it on like this, it doesn't become cakey or look too crazy. And I just like to put everything in place, especially to powder my cream products, just so nothing glides or moves throughout the day. I really like, especially on weekends and work days, to really set my face, and so I know it'll last all day and I don't have to act up or constantly go and fix it and touch up. So it just gives me that insurance that my face is going to be looking good, and if I have to touch up, it's probably minimal and nothing too crazy. So now that we have our face down, we are going to go back to our eyeshadow and kind of blend and add a little bit more of the mocha just to kind of deepen it up. I really liked the way it looked, and I just wanted to deepen up just a little. And right here we are taking a little bit of beam and just highlighting under our brow bone, and then we're gonna buff it out so there's no harsh lines or anything from the bronze-y colors and the highlight shade. So a little tip and trick, because my hair is so light, I usually get foundation or powder stuck in my hairline. So I like to take my little spoolie and kind of brush out and define those little baby hairs, just so no product gets stuck in there in the making of this beat. So we are now moving on to liquid eyeliner, and you guys will be so proud of me. I recently found a new eyeliner I love, and that is the CoverGirl liquid eyeliner in shade 335. It's basically like a dark brown, and I really love this on days I want a little natural more look, or just to bring out my eyes. This is super pretty to bring out blue eyes. I mean, any color eye really, but for me, browns are so beautiful to bring out my blue eyes, and so this was a super good come up on this because it's like a perfect brown. It's dark enough to be an eyeliner, but it's a perfect brown that's so subtle, and I love the way it went with this look. So from there, we're going to be using our mascara, and we're using the Carbon Black by L'Oreal. And finishing our brows, we are starting off with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and we are using Auburn. And from there, we're going to use the wax that you guys have seen me use. It's just the same Anastasia, but it's the eyebrow gel, and we're going to be using medium brown, and then cleaning up with the same Morphe concealer. So we're now gonna powder contour, and we are powder contouring with the 8L palette from Morphe. And in that same palette, we are going to be using the highlight shade Donut, and that is what I'm using today in the video to highlight my nose, cheeks, and forehead. And we are just using a old blush in one of my BH Cosmetics palettes, and I don't even have the name to it because it's such an old palette and it rubbed off. But yeah, we're using a BH blush. Super nice affordable blushes. You guys should definitely check them out, and they have really good deals all the time, and free shipping I think after 30 bucks. So for sure check them out. When I first started in makeup, I used to buy their palettes all the time, and it comes pretty fast in the mail. So super cool. I would definitely check them out if you guys haven't already. And then we're going to take for our lips the Rimmel London lip liner lipstick in the shade 014 Wild Clover. And you guys can see, I've told you in my past videos, I like to kind of buff out my shades a little bit on my lips. I kind of don't like a harsh lip, especially if I'm not like going out or anything, or it's not nighttime. So as you see, I dip my Morphe sponge into a little bit of translucent powder, and I just buff out the edges and the top parts of my lips. I really love doing my lips because, as you guys can tell, I overline them, and I don't like super pigmented lips. I like a very nude, washed out lip, so when I buff them out, it kind of gives me that more natural look, and you don't really see that line of where I overline my top lip. And so buffing it out like this just really gives me that ombre appearance that I really like. And yeah, it's just my tip of how I do my lips, and I really love the way it comes out. So yeah guys, that wraps up today's video. I had so much fun recording this. Please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and comment down below any ideas or videos you want to see next. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye butterflies. Hold up, wait a minute. You guys cannot, I repeat, cannot get out of this video before clicking the big red subscribe button and joining the family. Fire ass looks coming, Halloween looks. You guys asked for it, and I cannot wait. See you guys next time.